Today I'm going to walk you guys through the exact system, the exact blueprint, the exact process that I used to generate over $10 million in revenue using my Instagram account alone as my primary source of traffic. And this was me before Adly, 6 million, and this is me after Adly at 10 million. There's going to be no fluff, so I'm going to give you guys straight value. If you guys follow my content on social media, you guys know I like to get straight to it. So this was my content before Viralish. Go ahead.
So we have to, write this down, mentor.
Yes.
The people that are working for us. You are their mentor. That's why they're working with you, because they trust you as a leader. And so it's your responsibility to lead them. So on those meetings, instead of viewing it as like monotonous, like here's how I view this. If you don't have to do any coaching and that's the only coaching you have to do, show the up and deliver, like be like excited for that meeting and show up with energy, passion, presence, like really thinking through things. Because that one meeting has the ability to impact 85 of your clients.
Yep.
Right? If you like really show up with that intention to serve and like, I'm going to deliver.
How many of you guys put out content like that? I get it, because I was putting out content like that for like 5 years. And just by putting out content like that for 5 years, I was able to generate business because I'm an expert in my subject matter, but my content wasn't going viral. And because my content wasn't going viral, I wasn't getting seen by new people. And because I wasn't getting seen by new people, I ended up hitting this place where I was just stuck and plateaued. First lesson I want to teach you guys is there's a difference between posting content and posting good content, right? And I think that a lot of people understand the importance of social media. That's why you guys traveled to be here in this room to learn from Viralish in this community. You guys understand how important content is, but there's a difference between posting content and posting good content. So the reason that I decided to work with Adly one-on-one, Adly's team one-on-one, is I wanted to learn how to post good content. So can we go to the next slide? Not to brag or anything, but I'm the best business coach for personal trainers on the planet. And if I had to start my business from scratch and get it to $10,000 a month, here's exactly what I would do. Step number one, I'd create an offer. I charge $9.99 for 16 weeks of training, nutrition, and accountability. For my training plans, I would use Trainerize to design my meal plans and my training plans. Step number two, I post 3 types of content, and I post once a day, every day, 7 days a week. Connection content, proof content, and value content. Here's an example of connection content. This is my client Trent talking about how he's a dad, just showing pictures of him and his family. Here's an example of value content. These are 2 of my clients in the gym giving advice. Here's an example of proof content. This is my client Don Lam. He's demonstrating his expertise by showing a transformation. Step number 3, I get consistent every single day on my Instagram stories, posting client wins and screenshots of testimonials. These are some of my clients. They're getting some amazing results in my coaching program. Step number 4, I put up 2 call to actions every single week. A hard call to action, and one of them would be a soft call to action. Here's an example of a hard call to action. I'm looking for 5 men who want to burn 10 to 15 pounds of body fat in the next 90 days. If that's you, vote here. Here's an example of a soft call to action. I've got a new low carb brownie recipe that only takes 3 ingredients. If you want the full recipe, DM me recipe and I'll send it. Step number 5, I'd send 20 to 40 DMs per day, every day, to people interacting with my content. The DM would say, thanks so much for the support of my content. Are you on a fitness journey right now, or are you just enjoying the content? Step number 6, I'd book 5 calls per week using this DM script. Mind if I ask a couple questions to see if I can help? What's the biggest struggle in your fitness journey? What's the biggest goal for your fitness journey? In the next 60 to 90 days, what are the top 2 to 3 results that you want? And would you like some help? If you want the full strategy and you want my help implementing what we just went over, make sure you're following me and comment the word 10K and I'll reach out to you to see if I can help. That video got me over 1,000 leads organically. That video. So there's a difference between posting content and posting good content. And like, you guys are here because you want to learn how to post good content, yes? Okay, so we have to understand that posting content by itself isn't enough. It has to be good content. So I never understand the value of good content, and in 2023 to 2021, just by being consistent, you can separate yourself from the pack. So like, these were some of my views: 2,400 views, 2,600 views, 2,100 views. Like, this is what my page looked like on a regular basis. How many of you guys have views like that? Maybe a little bit lower than that. Raise your hand. I just want to see. Right? So that was me, right? So I understand where you guys are at because I was where you're at. In 2021, we had our first $1 million month. And honestly, it happened by luck. But 2 weeks after that, my Instagram account got completely disabled. So first $1 million month, me and my wife, we decided we're gonna like travel out to Mexico and we're gonna celebrate. We're like, yeah, we made $1 million, let's go to Mexico. So we're in Mexico, we're on the beach, and I get a call from one of my team members. They're like, yo, you need to like log into your Instagram account right now. I'm like, why, what's up? They're like, it just got disabled. I was like, what? And so I spent the next 48 hours, literally full-blown panic, calling Meta. I'm like looking online to see if I can find a customer support rep. I'm like on the phone with a bunch of people that know people that can get my account back. I paid $15,000 to this dude that I met from like, apparently he's from Dubai, that can get Instagram accounts back. I was doing everything, okay? I was doing everything. After 48 hours, I realized, I was like, I'm probably not gonna get this account back. And that was a massive problem for me because Instagram was my primary source of traffic for growing my business. That was another lesson I learned. This is a side note. You should never have one distribution channel where you get all of your revenue from, because you're at massive risk if that's what you're doing. Which is why you need to go viral on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all the things. So I was faced with a decision. And the decision was either I was going to bend the knee to adversity and just give up and fold my business and quit, because that's how I felt like in the moment. I'm like, I have 4,000 posts on that other account. BMarkFit had 4,000 posts. And not to mention, I had a podcast that had 900 episodes, and every single episode said, DM me at BMarkFit for more info. So now I've got 900 podcasts that I put out that I'm sending traffic to an Instagram account that no longer exists. But I made a decision. I started at The Real Brian Mark in November 2021, and I just committed. I was gonna post 2 times a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. Brand new account, starting from scratch, starting from zero. And this was at a place where we were pulling in 100 clients a month from Instagram alone. So to go from 100 clients a month from Instagram alone to completely unknown and nobody knows who you are on Instagram because you're starting a brand new Instagram account, it was a massive problem. Not to mention all the credibility that I had established by having 100,000 followers. Like, you have 100,000 followers, and whether or not people like it, like, people look at you differently. Versus like when you have 0 followers or 100 followers and you're DMing them, you're like, I can help you grow your business. And they're like, sure you can. You can't even grow your own Instagram account. I wasn't good, but I was consistent. So again, this is my view count, just being consistent. And I feel like everybody in the room is consistent. If you're consistent, say yes. Everybody in the room is consistent, but being consistent by itself isn't enough. And this was me consistent. 3,000, 1,000, 15,000, I get lucky, bam. 9,000, 5,000, 6,000, 4,000. After my Instagram account got shut down, my income took a massive dip. We went from $1 million a month to $300,000 a month for the next 6 to 12 months. Very humbling, you know? Telling my wife I'm gonna buy her jet, and then the next month I'm like, I don't know how we're gonna pay our mortgage, all right? I did my own research, I studied from the best mentors in the space, and I got my Instagram account to 100,000 followers. But at 100,000 followers, I was stuck. I was the value guy, right? So if you guys follow me on Instagram, who here follows me on Instagram? Yeah, thanks guys. I'm like step by step value. But the problem, this is where Adley came into my world, is my content wasn't going viral. Because my content wasn't going viral, I was basically educating the same audience on every single video that I was doing, which is like, it's cool, but that's not gonna grow the business. Over time, if you have 10,000 Instagram followers, you might nurture those people more, but your following isn't growing, AKA you're not getting your business in front of new people, which to me presented an issue. Guys, social media is free. F-R-E-E. It's free to post on social media. And when you get really good at content marketing, and you understand the algorithm and you have a feeling for what's gonna go viral and what's not, you literally get free exposure every single day. And I'm a psychopath. I post 6 times a day, right? I'm crazy. But the reason I do that is because it's free. Why would I not? So that's when I met Adley. And when I met Adley, I called her the most famous girl on the internet. And I met her at an event, and I met her and I recognized her. I'm like, I've seen that girl somewhere before. And then Kirsten looked at you and was like, that's Adley. And then we looked at your page and I was like, holy. And I remember seeing you on a podcast, I think it was like Dan Fleshman, and he was talking about how you get 1 billion views a month. And then when I met her, I was like, you're the most famous girl on the internet. I was like, what's up? Upon meeting Adley, I asked her what I ask every single mentor when I meet them, what's your most expensive program? That's what I ask. Whenever I meet a mentor, I'm always like, what's the most expensive offer? Because here's the way that I view life and investing in yourself, right? You either pay with time or you pay with money. And I was already paying with time. I was putting in the reps, I was studying on social media, I was watching YouTubes, I was watching podcasts, I was watching all these people go viral, and I was trying, but it wasn't working. And I spent 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years trying to figure this out. So a few years ago, I realized that if I just pay with money, people that have the experience that I wanna have, I'm gonna get there a lot faster. So I asked Adley what her most expensive offer was. She told me she only works with high-level brands like First Form, but I persisted. So Adley quoted me $100,000 for 6 months of coaching with her and her team. 105 actually, with tax, 105K. Since working with Adley, my Instagram account has grown from 100,000 followers to 347,000 followers. My income went from $6 million a year to $10 million a year. And today I'm gonna talk to you guys about how to execute content on a high level so you can see the whole system. Is that cool with you guys? If that's cool, say cool. Next slide. This weekend, we're gonna give you guys some practical tools to be able to implement this system for yourself and your business. And again, this is my Instagram account, 347,000 followers. So I'm gonna show you guys the $10 million business blueprint, my actual posting schedule and cadence, and the system that I use to consistently produce high quality content. And then I'm gonna take some questions for you guys. Here's the $10 million business strategy. Attract, convert, deliver. This is how business works. It doesn't matter what business you're in. I've talked to people from all different industries. Junkyard company, I've talked to people that are, coaching AI, and talked to people that are doing everything. Doesn't matter what business you're in, attract, convert, deliver is how you grow your business. Attraction basically means that you get your product in front of new eyeballs. Conversion means that you can take those eyeballs on social media into customers. And then deliver means that you fulfill on your promise and you basically give them what you sold them on the phone. So if you sold them that you're gonna get them XYZ result, then you deliver that result. If you do these 3 things successfully, you'll have a business. The problem is that most of you guys are doing this yourself, am I right? Most of you guys are trying to post your own content, then you're generating the lead, and then you're getting on the sales call, you're delivering, you're fulfilling for the client. So the problem is that most of you guys are trying to do this yourself and you're struggling to do it well. How many of you guys struggle to create content on a consistent and regular basis that's really good, that goes viral? Raise your hand. Don't be shy, raise your hand. Right? Which means you can't scale. If you don't have a system for attracting clients, if you don't have a system for converting clients, and you don't have a system for delivering value to your clients, you're not gonna be able to scale. To solve this problem, not only do we need to learn how to attract clients, but we need to build a scalable system around doing so that we always have qualified customers in the door. Guys, if you think about some of the biggest brands on the planet, like we're talking about who here follows Dan Martell? Raise your hand. I'm really good friends with Dan Martell, Cody Sanchez, Grant Cardone. These guys are able to put out consistently high quality content, not because they're doing all the content themselves. Do you really think Dan Martell is pulling out his phone and it's doing like a video and then editing the video on his phone on CapCut and then adding captions with Submagic and then posting it to his Instagram and then looking at the insights to seeing what's performing well and then doing that process all over himself? There's no way. Same with Cody Sanchez, same with Grant Cardone. Like, you have to have a system around this stuff. Write this down. No eyeballs, no business. No eyeballs, no business. It doesn't matter how good your product is. It doesn't matter how good you are at selling. It doesn't matter how awesome you are. If you don't have eyeballs, you don't have a business. This is why I spent so much damn money to learn directly from Adley and our team. I knew that if I didn't have new customers coming through the front door, that I wasn't gonna have a business that grew month over month. And I don't know about you guys, but I didn't get into business to participate. I got into business to dominate. I wanna be the best in my space. I wanna be the #1 in my industry. I wanna be the very best. And the only way to do that is to get my business in front of new customers. How many of you guys honestly feel like you have a product that could change somebody's lives? Raise your hand. How many of you guys honestly want to grow your business like double, triple, quadruple the size? Raise your hand. The only way to do that is to get in front of new customers. Okay, so how do you attract clients? I'm gonna talk to you guys about my posting schedule and my cadence. It's a 2-part process. First, you need to get their attention. Second, you need to demonstrate the solution to their problem. Me and Ryan were having a conversation yesterday and he's like, what's more important, views or followers? I said both. Because if you can get the views, you can get a bunch of people coming to your page, but you have no idea how to turn those views into followers and then those followers into buyers, you're not gonna have a business. So they're both. It's not one or the other, it's 50-50. This is kind of fun actually, you know? I call it awareness content and conversion content. Awareness content is more widely relatable to a larger audience and as a result has a higher chance of going viral based off of it being relatable to more people. And this is the type of content that Adley really helped me dial in. I didn't know how to do this. I didn't know how to get my product in front of new customers. I also didn't know how to make educational content that wasn't boring. And I was just like, here's 3 tips to grow your business. Here's how to close more sales calls. Once I met Adley, she taught me some different stuff where I'm like, I'm in the street holding signs that say, guess how much money I make. I would never have done that myself, right? But in those videos, 8.7 million views, 14 million views. Those videos brought me in 14,000, 15,000 followers. Now, conversion content is designed as a step-by-step value demonstration where you are giving real, practical solutions to a narrowly defined problem that your ideal client has. That's conversion content. Real, practical solutions. Most people struggle with education-based content because you guys aren't actually giving value. You're giving surface level value. So for me, as an example, if I'm gonna talk about how to post a viral Instagram reel, I can't just overall say like, have a good hook and give lots of value and have a nice day. But most of you guys, when you're posting your value content, it's very surface level. If you guys watch my content on social media, you'll notice it's very step by step by step by step by step. Step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Step 3, do this. Step 4, do this. Step 5, do this. Follow for more value. Like, I wanna give away the entire sauce. I wanna give all of the blueprint. That way, when people come to my page from the viral content, this stuff gets exposure, they come to my page, they start watching my content, they're like, oh, this is good. Now, a lot of people struggle to create education or conversion content on a regular basis because they're like, it doesn't get the views. But for the way that I view it is I post viral-ish content to go viral, to get attention, and then when those people come to my page, I want the value to be so practical that they're like, I wanna hire this dude. I need to know what this dude does. I need to figure out like, you know, how I can work with this guy. My content strategy is very simple. 50% awareness content, 50% conversion content. That's my content strategy. 50% of the content that I post on my social media is designed to get new eyeballs, and 50% of the content that I post on my social media is designed to turn those eyeballs into clients. 50-50. If I'm posting twice a day, it's 1 awareness-based piece of content and 1 conversion-based piece of content. And it's really that simple. So this is awareness content. Go ahead and play that. If you give me your phone right now, I'll make you $1,000. Bro. What? If you give me your phone right now, I'll make you $1,000. I'm a business coach or personal trainer, so I'll make $1,000 in your DMs right now. I bet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to your Instagram. I'm just gonna screenshot one of your client transformations. I'm gonna go to Instagram stories. What's this? I'm looking for 5 men who want to lose 10 to 15 pounds. So what I'm doing is, this is called a 5130 post. You basically wanna get people to reach out to you that are expressing interest in your offer. So bro, it's only been 4 minutes. You already got 2 votes. This is the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna ask him if we can ask him a couple questions to see if we can help. So we wanna figure out what his biggest struggle is because once he tells us what his struggle is, that's the reason that he's gonna sign up for coaching. Okay, that makes sense, but how much would this cost me? So I've personally closed over $20 million in the DMs. You can sell people a lot faster if you just sell them over the DMs, so that's what we're gonna do. I want you to send him a personal voice note. This is exactly what I want you to say.
And for the training, I'm gonna create you a custom workout program tailored to you that switches up every 4 weeks.
I say usually I'd sell it to you for $2,000 for 16 weeks, but if you take action right now, I'll give it to you for $1,500. It's outside of my budget. I was expecting something a bit cheaper.
Man, I totally understand where you're coming from, but let me put this in perspective for you.
Nice.
Nice.
Say some McDonald's, homie. So let me help you lose that weight. Does that sound good?
Got this shit. I got this.
And then text out, say that's called a fast action discount.
Holy shit.
Holy shit! Get a fucking stripe line.
No, we're making fucking money right now. Y'all should get onto online coaching, man. This is the fucking go.
He did it. He fucking did. Dude, bro, that's one fucking guy.
That was in 10 minutes.
You could do that all fucking day, bro. You could literally do that all fucking day. I'm telling you. This
Wow.
is exactly what I teach people how to do.
That's a blessing, bro. Let's
fucking
fucking
go,
go,
bro.
man.
Go.
Bam. Now, 100% an Adley idea, all right? I would love to say I came up with that idea, but I did not. Now, the reason I showed you that as awareness content is you notice that's also conversion content. That's cool, right? And like that was what I learned from Viralish is like you can do awareness content and conversion content. I do 50-50, but sometimes if I get a really good idea from, Adley or whatever, I'll do something like that. Dude, that video had 2.1 million views the first time I posted it, and then I posted it as an ad, and I can't attribute how much revenue I made because of that one video, because it instantly demonstrated my expertise, but it was also like the hook, and like, as you guys saw, you see the prop money at the front of the video where I had the prop money? Again, it was the same sort of stuff that we were doing yesterday in the kitchen. I grabbed their attention instantly. As soon as I had their attention, they almost like had to watch, and then people wanted to see to the end to see what happened, but then by the time they got to the end of the video, they were clearly educated on my subject matter expertise, and when they followed, like I got a lot of DMs from that. That's awareness content. Next, conversion content. Here's the only video you will ever need to watch to sound natural on camera, because there's nothing worse than sounding like a fucking dork. These tips are simple, but they've got me millions of views because people on social media love authenticity and they love entertainment. Step one, say what's on your fucking mind. The reason you struggle to create content on social media is before you put something out, you're worried about what other people are gonna think about you. Pretend you're explaining a concept to your best friend, not giving a fucking TED Talk. Step two, exaggerate your energy. If you bring your normal, everyday, dork-ass energy, no one's gonna pay attention. Number three, use your body when you talk. Use hand gestures. You can also move around a little bit. You can also change up the angles to make it more dimensional. Step number four, record, post, audit, repeat. Hate to break it to you, but your content's gonna suck for a long fucking time. But if you record every day, post every day, watch your own content, and figure out what's going viral and what's not, over time, eventually you will get better. I've been recording for 8 years. This doesn't happen overnight. Follow for more value. So you notice how it's step by step by step by step by step. So whatever industry you're in, like that's the level of value you want to give if you want people to come to your page and want to work with you and like want to buy from you. It's like it has to be like so tangible that they're like, that was good. I'm gonna follow that guy and I'm gonna send him a message. Now for my Instagram stories, I only have one rule that I absolutely live by, and if you live by this rule, you will make significantly more money. It's really simple. Post social proof of your client getting results every single day. That's the number one rule I follow with Instagram stories. Obviously I do some documentation and stuff like that, but like the number one rule that I follow with Instagram stories is I post social proof literally every day. Because if I'm getting new followers every day, a lot of these people have no idea who I am. So I wanna make sure that every single day, doesn't matter how many followers I'm getting, every single day, everybody that comes to my page watches my story, client result, client result, client result, client result. Burn it into your brain, never forget it, and take that one piece of advice and you're gonna thank me in 6 months. Every day on your Instagram stories. And a lot of people don't like doing this because they don't like appearing spammy or salesy, but I'm telling you guys, if you do it every single day, you're gonna make a lot more money. Now, obviously we have to ask for clients to work with us, and this is where a lot of people struggle on social media. You can't just expect clients to come falling out of the skies. So twice a week, what you're gonna do, I'm gonna give you guys a hack, all right? What you're gonna do, this is a social media hack, all right? This is good. I want you guys to delete all of your Instagram stories and post one Instagram story up. This actually tricks the Instagram algorithm. The way that the Instagram story algorithm works is when people are engaging with one piece of content, if there's only one piece of content up and people are engaging with it, it tells Instagram that this is a valuable piece of content, and then it pushes that out to a wider audience. But if you have 2 or 3 stories up and people engage with the first one and maybe they scroll through the second one, scroll through the third one, the whole Instagram story doesn't get more views because Instagram reads all of the engagement. So if you post one story up and people vote on it and engage with it, it's gonna share it out to a wider audience. If you do this today, you guys can even do this at the event, guaranteed you'll get more story views than you've ever gotten on your Instagram stories. So again, delete all of your Instagram stories. Don't post anything for 12 hours so there's only one story up. Have people engage on a poll, you're gonna get a lot more views. So what I do is I'll delete all my Instagram stories and then I'll post something like this. Oh wait, never mind, it's not on the next slide. It'll come up soon, all right? It'll come up soon, then I'll show you guys. So this. 25% off flash sale, business coaching for personal trainers. Then I do social proof, social proof, social proof. I also like to do stuff like this, urgency and scarcity sells products. So this says sale expires. And then it says I'm in, send details, and no thank you. And the reason I do 2 options, a yes and a no, because I want everyone to engage, even the people that aren't interested. Because if they're not interested and they engage, people are gonna engage with that Instagram story, which means it's gonna get sent to a wider audience. I also do fun stuff where I'll show one of my clients that made $1 million in the last 4 months. And then I'm like, is this real or fake? real as I want that, real, comma, I'm interested, or no, comma, you're a stupid scam artist. And I'll have that there, and people will engage with it, and they're like, yeah, this guy. But I'm like, actually, thank you, because you're helping it push out to more people, so I appreciate you. And then this is a soft call to action. So a hard call to action is one where you directly ask for client. You're like, I'm looking for 5 men that want to lose 10 pounds in the next 30 days. I'm looking for 5 business owners that want to add an extra $10,000 in revenue to their business in the next 6 months, whatever it is. That's a hard call to action where you're directly asking for clients. A soft call to action is where you're indirectly asking for clients, and you're basically putting out something that you know your clients will get value from, and you're asking them if they'd want it. So for me, it's 1 year's worth of content in 30 seconds, the ultimate cheat code for free. DM me ideas and I'll send it. So then people DM me ideas, and this works for DMs or polls, by the way, this story trick. So then people send me the word ideas, I send them a lead magnet, and then on the back of that lead magnet, I have a call to action. I'll show what that looks like in a second. Next. Now the reason I space this out twice a week is I always want to give more value than I ask for. I live by the Gary Vee rule, jab, 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 right hook. So I always want to give more than I ask for. So like every single day on my social media, all I'm doing is giving value, giving value, giving value. And then twice a week on my social media, I'm asking. I always make sure that I'm giving more than I'm asking. So twice a week and throughout the day, every day, I'm sharing social proof of my clients. Next. Now, ManyChat. This is how I get leads. For those of you guys that aren't using ManyChat to generate leads, you are insane. All right? It is awesome. On your Instagram newsfeed, you can post a freebie giveaway and then attach ManyChat to the back of it to start a conversation with your prospects. But here's where the magic is.
Do you want a free course to teach you how to build your online fitness business in 2025? Well, damn. Good thing you stumbled across this video. If you're struggling to grow on social media, sign clients, and make an extra 10K with your business, let me help you. I will teach you how to set up your social media profile. I'll teach you what to say in the DMs and what to say on sales calls, not to mention what apps to use and how to find your niche. So make sure you're following me and comment the word course, and I'm gonna send it to you for free.
So then people follow me. That's another really big one. When you guys are doing freebies, make sure you're following me, and because then if that gets shown to the algorithm, then people will see it, they'll follow you, and they'll comment the keyword. But then when I send them the course, I say, hey fam, here's the course. PS, if you want some hands-on help growing your fitness business with a guarantee that you make at least $10,000, reply to this message with 10K. So now this video, if you guys go to my page, it's pinned. This video has 1,200 comments, and then 1,200 people get this free course. I'm sending them to my YouTube, so I'm helping grow my YouTube as well. And then I get 10 to 20% of people that reply with 10K. So now out of those 1,200 comments, I got 120 leads. I book 50 sales calls, bam. Finally, running Instagram ads. I run 2 types of campaigns to my Instagram. We book 15 sales calls a day from my Instagram, and then 15 to 20 sales calls a day from my ads, like directly to like a landing page or whatever. But these are the 2 different types of Instagram direct to DM stuff that I run. So boosted posts, I already showed you guys this, so I don't need to show you guys this again. It's just a really high value video where I'm giving away a step-by-step process. Then I'm saying, make sure you're following me and comment keyword, and I'll send you some resources. And you can do that for your hard call to action or soft call to action. So in this example, I talk about a step-by-step blueprint to, build your fitness business. And then I'm like, if you want my help doing that, make sure you're following and comment 10K. I could also do this example where I give away a step-by-step process. And then I could say, if you want a free course on exactly how to get your business started, make sure you're following and comment course. So it's either a hard call to action or a soft call to action. The difference between these 2 things is if you do a hard call to action, you're gonna get people that are like, I wanna buy coaching. And if you do a soft call to action, you're gonna get people that are like, I'm interested in this because I wouldn't have asked for it if I wasn't interested. But the intent to purchase isn't necessarily there with this, as it is with this. Make sense? So the next one will be a directed DM call to action where I'll get somebody to message me directly if they're interested in coaching, like so. How much money do you make as a personal trainer?
Last month we did $70,000.
$70,000, that's pretty fucking outlandish. How many followers do you have on Instagram?
27,000.
27,000 followers and $70,000 a month seems pretty sus. Are you sure?
I'm 1,000% positive.
That's what people are gonna say. Okay, so I'm Clayton. So what would you say is one piece of advice that you give to the audience if they wanted to get the results that you have?
I would say master content and really pick a niche and get really super specific on that niche and build your reoccurring revenue. When you can really get specific when it comes to talking to a specific avatar, you are going to really put yourself in a certain category compared to just being someone who's general and talking to the masses, and you're going to attract a specific type of person. And when you are posting the 3 pillars of content, which is social proof, connection, and value, you're going to really be able to relate to a bunch of different people and stand yourself out. And when you build that reoccurring, you can sell in full packages on top of that. That's when you can start hitting those higher months like we've been able to do.
Boom. Boom. By the way, if you guys ever do in-person events, interview your clients like that. It's gold. That content pops on my Instagram too, organically. It pops on ads and it pops on Instagram because my clients are doing all the selling for me. I just walk up to my client, excuse me, how much money are you making as a personal trainer? And then they tell me, and people want to watch because it's like an engaging format, right? If you guys have anybody ever seen street interviews? Raise your hand. Super engaging format, usually goes viral. I do that with my client testimonials and they pop. Next. All these combined efforts on the front end bring me a total of 600 new sales calls per month. We have a 60% show rate and a 40% conversion rate on average. We're bringing in 125 to 150 new clients every single month. Our new cash collected last month was over $400,000. I do hard CTAs every Monday and Thursday. I have a Dropbox folder that has my entire playbook for 365 days worth of CTAs, and I basically pull from that. Literally took me 10 years to learn, and I spent millions of dollars on this stuff. You just show them the example of the Dropbox folder. This is like my golden pony. Yeah, so like literally all I do is I just open up this Dropbox folder and I like scroll through and I find one. It's all my like best shit. So anyways, go back to the slideshow. Cool, this is the system that I use to consistently produce high quality content at scale. I'm gonna give you guys the entire blueprint. I'm gonna show you guys exactly what my back end of my operation looks like. First things first, you need a team. You need a team. Cody Sanchez, Grant Cardone, Alex Hormozi, all of the biggest brands on the planet have a team. Dan Martell has a team. He literally has 7 people on his media team full time. Now, you don't need a massive media team to start. So if you're in this room and you're intimidated by the idea of getting a massive team, don't worry. But you definitely need a team. I'd recommend a videographer and an editor, bare minimum. You need a team. Next, so I pay $25,000 a month for my media team, and I'm just gonna show you guys what I do. And again, you don't need to pay $25,000 a month for a media team, but I'm gonna show you guys what I do because I do 6 pieces of content a day on Instagram, 6 pieces of content a day on TikTok, 6 pieces of content a day on YouTube, 5 podcast episodes a week, 2 long form YouTubes a week. So like, I got a lot of shit. So inside of this media team, I have a full-time videographer who literally follows me around full-time. He's usually with me at all events, but he's actually a convict. He's a vegan, not a bad convict. So he's a vegan and he broke into a pig farm and he got charged and now he can't come to the States. That's a side story that has nothing to do with this presentation. But I have a full-time idea generator, so somebody that literally is on the internet full-time generating ideas from viral content. I've got 3 full-time editors for YouTube, TikTok Shorts, and Instagram Reels. I've got 2 clippers that cut up my long-form content into short-form content, and I've got 1 YouTube long-form content editor. A lot of the highest level brands on the planet have something like this. I know for a fact Dan Martell has something like this because I was his coaching client. I was a one-on-one client for a long time. My business partner, Cole Da Silva, gets an average of 30 to 40 million views a month. He's got 1.5 million on TikTok, 400,000 on Instagram, 100,000 on Snapchat. He also has something like this. All of the biggest brands on the planet have a media team. Unless you get a team, some sort of team, and it doesn't have to be this, but unless you get a media team that knows what they're doing, you're gonna be competing with everybody else that's just on their phone posting content. And you guys aren't in the room to compete, you're in the room to dominate, yes? Next slide. So I sit down with my videographer who comes up with 100+ content ideas on a bi-weekly basis. So all I have to do is show up and be handsome as hell, which is very easy. He sets up the scene for me, I just sit down, he gives me prompts and we press record. So all I do, I don't do content research myself, I'm not doing scripting myself, I'm not doing editing myself, I'm not doing filming myself. All I do is show up, sit down, and I'm like, what are we doing today? And then he is like, never, ever, ever say these on sales calls. And then I'm like, bam. And then sometimes I just spit off my own expert advice. Sometimes he has literally a full script for me. That's how I do it. And then what happens is after that filming session, we sit down for a couple hours, we film, we high five, see you later. I make fun of him because he's a vegan. And then he goes and distributes that stuff to all of our editors. All the editors take all that content, they put it all together. We get it back. All of the team posts it on all my social media platforms, and then I'm done. And all I do is get to show up and do stuff like this all day. It's great. Next. I spend about 16 hours in total for the month in front of the camera. But again, I'm posting 6 times a day, every day on multiple platforms. So you guys don't need to spend 16 hours a month in front of the camera. You could probably spend 4. You could probably spend 10 and get content multiple times a day on multiple platforms. Once I spend that 16 hours in front of the camera, my job is completely done. That's all I do. Film content throughout the month, that's it. Everything else is handled by someone else. Next. My videographer color grades the content. He sends it off to my editors that get pieced together with the Adley style editing that I learned. He reviews videos before I see them to make sure that they don't suck. And then my team posts them to all my social media platforms. My involvement in the posting process for 90% is completely non-existent. I actually choose to post on Instagram because I really like posting on Instagram. I like the platform. So that's one platform that I still choose to post on because I like it. But we distribute 600 pieces of content across Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, and I post 10% of that content. All I have to do is show up and speak on my expertise. I don't have to write my own scripts anymore, although I still choose to sometimes because content's fun for me. I never, ever, ever edit my own videos, and I don't come up with the ideas anymore. All the ideating, filming, editing, posting is done for me. All the best personal brands on the planet do this, you guys. All of them. Every single one of them. You're not gonna find a Grant Cardone that's on his phone editing his own video. It's just not gonna happen. If you guys wanna blow up on social media, you need a team. Pretty cool, right? Who here would like to have something like this in your business? Raise your hand. Some sort of system like this installed in your business where all you have to do is show up and be the talent. Raise your hand. Say yes. Perfect. Next. Now, I'll be honest, that shit's expensive. And it also took me a very long time to learn how to run the team properly, how to train my team properly, and how to actually put out quality content, because there's a difference between a team that posts content and a team that posts good content. And posting content is gonna get you 1,000 to 2,000 views. Posting good content is gonna help you go viral. I spend a total of $300,000 a year on this media engine alone, which in actuality, when you think about it, is only 3% of my total business revenue. So even though it's like, okay, that's a lot of money, and a lot of people have a hard time investing in content, but you guys, content is the only thing that matters. Like, yes, it's important to sell. Yes, it's important to deliver a product, but unless you have content, you can have the best product on the planet. And unless you have content and people know about it, it's irrelevant. However, if you have, like, let's say attract, convert, deliver. Let's say if you were only able to be good at one of these three things. If you were like really good at content, you could suck at sales and have a shitty product, and you'd still make more money than everybody else. Why? Because you're in front of more people. Like, content is the most important aspect of your business. And if you're not investing heavily in distributing, creating high quality content, creating the best quality content, and doing it in a systemized way, you're leaving literally millions of dollars on the revenue on the table. So it feels like a big investment in the moment, but that investment is what doubled my business. Again, $10 million, 3% of my revenue. Now, I built an entire system around attracting clients, and that system does not involve me doing the grunt work. I just have to stay in my zone of genius and speak about subject I'm incredibly well versed in. So I have a system around attract. And because of that social media engine, from what I've learned from Adley, I've been able to successfully scale my coaching business from $6 million to $10 million. Next. There's definitely a way to do this without spending $300,000 for the year. I just usually like to go with what's the most expensive option, because I'm a dumbass. Awesome, that's my social media engine start to finish. Let's do a Q&A.